And welcome, Pocket Watch here, and it's about time for another episode of White Album 2. Yes, we finished the main story, but there's still some stories to tell. So, apparently, this digital novel is the one that I'm supposed to read after I finish the main game. And then after this, we are going to jump into the visual novel of extra stories, which are also short. So yeah. With that, let's just get into this and let's see, because apparently it's not White Album season anymore. Let's see where this will go. Also, I'm still gathering suggestions for the next series. If you want to put your suggestions down below in the comments until we finish the whole thing. Okay, let's go. Is this the prologue or sequel to something? Let's see. There, the sounds of many people playing their many instruments flew all about through the air. The children crying and singing of the men who waves as they left. The couples standing cheek to cheek who would never part no matter how much time passed. The grandfather grumbling and pulling his suitcase behind him as grandmother hurried him along. The young people who passed through the gate in high spirits as their friend waved and cheered them off. And the speakers near the ceiling, rattling of place, names, times, airlines, and the numbers of arriving departing flights. Okay, so we are at the airport. In other words, that was the most important place of coming and goings, and the sound they made, the airport lobby. Airport lobby. 2 o'clock, huh? And this place, which was even more crowded and bustling than usual, was a young lady. In this place, it was a young lady quietly speaking to herself. Also, this is short. It's 14 pages of evenly spread text. She had long black hair and elegant glamour that made her stand out, even among those surrounding that threatened to absorb her. Galusa? I guess? Her small face, with its perfectly balanced long, narrow eyes and slightly thin lips, boasted true Eastern beauty. Her body was like that of the model, someone tall in stature with the tight waist and the full breasts. But then there was her attire. Stevennly filling out her well-blessed body, the ill-mannered way she sat in her chair, grasping her knees, her almost shameful yellow hair. The name of this lady, young and yet idle, beautiful and yet eccentric, was Kazusa Toma. Okay, so it is Kazusa. In spite of all of this, she was a famous pianist, known to tens of millions of people worldwide. Come to think of it, I suppose it is about to be Christmas. Kazusa vacantly surveyed the airport displays, the luggage the people were carrying, and finally hit upon both the reason for the congestion and the current season. It was already winter. For this was an airport in winter. For Kazusa Toma, airports held a great many memories. Breakdowns, declarations of feelings, separations, returns home, and new journeys. Casting aside, spilling, overflowing, reawakening, countless pains slept in Narita, that airport in Japan. But right now, and right here. Durfte ich mich nicht setzen? I'm sorry. May I sit next to you? Wie? Ach ja bitte. I have no idea. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering this so much. Oh, yes, of course. The question that the middle-aged lady asked, and the words that immediately came from Kazusa's mouth were not Japanese, as the words overflowing back then had been. Because it was Vinshevehat International Airport. Because this was the current home of Kazusa Toma. No, Kazusa Netoma. Okay. At the airport at the noon, I will assume as soon as my meeting is over. So she's waiting for Haruki, I guess. So this is after story, I guess. Are they like back in Strasbourg or something? Where is this? Where's the Vienna Sherwart International Airport? Also, why there's like ne? What does that mean? She had looked at the text that had been waiting for her on the phone this morning twice, no, 3 times. No, she had lost count on how many times, but she scanned over it again. It hadn't been just a text. Last night in bed, the appointed meeting time for today had been told to her over and over, almost like pillow talk. And this time, for once, Kazusa actually held faithfully to it, which was how she had wound up idling away almost 2 hours in the airport, and was now just past 2 p.m. So she's supposed to be here at the noon, right? Yeah, so she's waiting for 2 hours now. Oh, Haruki's late as hell. The stated departure time was precisely 3 p.m. If they didn't abroad soon, there was going to be a trouble. So they're going somewhere, okay. But, okay, honestly, how long is it going to be before I can eat lunch? Elsa grumbled in a tone that showed no sense of impending crisis, rummaged around the pocket of her luggage, pulled out her 5th chocolate bar since her arrival at the airport and stuffed her mouth with it. Of course, more sugar. Something never changes. But even as the complaints dribbled out of her mouth this way, Kazusa was neither angry nor in a rush. For someone like her who had been tamed into laziness, time was not a limited commodity. In days long past, waiting around idly for someone, a specific someone, would have irritated her, but not anymore. She was used to waiting. She had once waited over 5 hours before exchanging a kiss. She had waited over 5 years to achieve her desires. When she thought about those days, both sweet and bitter, beloved and maddening, a little bit of waiting around with the definite end was neither painful nor itchy for her. The meeting is stretching on, just a little longer. I promise we'll get onto the plane in time. Okay. Making me show up early and then running this far behind yourself. Your failure as the member of society. Said Kazusa. After opening the long-awaited follow-up message and cursing a bit, Kazusa quickly shut her phone and turned the brief text over and over in her head. In general, Kazusa did not reply to text. For that matter, she didn't send texts. After all these years living together, Kazusa still hadn't broken out of comfort of the little flirtation between lovers. Her innate disposition, aggravated by spoiling and indulgence, which led her to find many things bothersome, was also somewhat to blame. But even greater than that was the lofty mentality grounded in the Japanese virtue known as motanai. When communication was absolutely necessary, it was impossible for her to let go without hearing his voice. She would make a call, disparage him to her heart content, be met with the tedious objections and lectures, snap back, hang up with the sharp parting remark, regret it immediately, start to redial, but get a call from the other end instead, pick up with the expression of the great delight, but given another drown-out sermon, finally get a small apology at the very end, hang up, chuckle to herself, and if anybody was around, be seized with the fits of laughter. Okay. Sure, Kazusa, sure. After all these years of living together, Kazusa still hadn't broken out of comfort of a little flirtation between lovers. So, after all these years living together, so how much of the time skip do we have? She waited for 5 years to achieve her desires. Is it like 5 years after the White Album, or she's just mentioning, you know, the 5 years like in the main story? It's probably about main story. 5 years before she came back to Japan and stuff. So how long do we have now? All these years. Very curious. Kazusa still hasn't broken out, yeah. I've got a taxi. I'll be there in about 15 minutes. Okay, that's pretty optimistic estimate, stupid. Baka. About 10 minutes have passed since the last message. After giving this short continuation a light retort, Kazusa did nothing but stare vacantly up at the airport ceiling and picture him, sending her the message in mad rush, hurrying the driver along. She didn't read the magazine, or listen music on her phone, or watch a movie. These time killers would drive him out of her head were ridiculous. She couldn't possibly do any of that. She refused to give up the luxury of letting this one person permeate her mind and body. Whether or not her fingers were moving over the keyboard, the space in which of wings of Kazusa's imagination fluttered was too large and too small. Okay, go handle the board without me. I'll catch up with you soon. Why? Okay, what the hell, Haruki? Is he like late because he forgot about like buying something for Christmas for Kazusa and he's like trying to get into this cursed shop that always ends up in the disaster and going to buy some gift for Kazusa? Are we going to have a disaster once again? Because that one jewelry shop is cursed. You don't go there. Kazusa read this postscript of the message and still didn't move. It was clearly an important message regarding an important piece of business to take care of, but she freely ignored it. Then she looked at the airport clock. There were 30 minutes until boarding time. The time was approaching. At this point, if Kazusa didn't see the process through, they weren't going to be able to avoid missing the flight, but... Okay. Why are you here, Kazusa? That was because you didn't make it in time, Haruki. 3 o'clock PM. Oh my god. He literally is late. If Kazusa would board this plane, she would just fly away and leave Haruki behind because it's 3 o'clock. And the plane was like scheduled for the 3 o'clock. Are you serious? Wow. Not at the boarding gate or on the plane, but in the same airport lobby. Now that the two of them had finally carried out the reunion after their communication exchange, the plane that they were supposed to be on was right on the verge of taking off into heavens. I told you to board on your own at least. No, you didn't. All you said that you would definitely catch up. This young man standing in front of Kazusa, who was still grasping her knees in her chair, looking as troubled as ever in his coat, was Haruki Kitahara. Kazusa manager and promoter, whose surname was the same as her current surname. So Haruki... Oh, so Haruki took the name of Kazusa! The surname. Oh, so wait, no, they just said Kitahara. His surname was the same as her current surname. So why you call him Haruki Kitahara? Because next sentence you say basically that he's Haruki Toma. Did Haruki took Kazusa's surname? Are they married? They are, right? Yeah, they suggested they are married in the... even at the like end of the White Album. Yeah, there was like 2 years time skip or something, right? Is this still 2 year time skip? God damn it. Timeline, it slipped me. Okay. I would have caught up to you. Oh no, I couldn't trust that. Remember? 2 years ago in New York, I let you wheedle me into the getting to place before you, and when you finally linked up with me, it was 30 minutes before the performance. Okay, so we have at least 2-year time skip. And you certainly seems to have a good memory for old bygones. Yeah. Even though he had broken his promise to Kazusa and fallen far behind, he hardly flinched at all, instead giving an answer that was half serious, half provocatory, as though he was humoring a spoiled child. I had a really hard time, you know. Since you weren't there, I couldn't go out and eat, and I got so sick of the room service for 3 days and 3 nights, I thought I was going to die. Now you could have gone out. You can speak English plenty well. Even as she confronted him, Kazusa knew well that Haruki's extreme busyness, all the way up until right before they left the country, had all been for her sake. But she pushed all the responsibility onto him and allowed herself to sulk as much as she liked. Okay, anyway, everything about this is your fault. I don't have a single thing to apologize for. Now look, come on, that's enough. Because they each understood that the other wasn't really angry. And each was certain that the other would forgive the whole thing very shortly. For now, there are 2 tickets available for cancellations for a flight 2 hours from now on. It has 3 connections, but the seats aren't separated, are they? Well, it looks like they are consecutive numbers. They are economy though. Are they? Well, that's perfect. How exactly? Because if they got on the first class tickets, adjusted seats would be too far apart from each other, making it difficult to hold hands the entire time. Of course! We have to restrain ourselves from unnecessary expenses. Our management is pretty strict. Even if he had figured this out, she still wouldn't have said it out loud. In which case, I wish that at least you got on the plane just now. At some point, the chair next to Kazusa had been freed up, and Haruki finally sat down. And, as though she had been waiting for it, Kazusa leaned her entire body weight over onto Haruki's side. Of course, Haruki took this weight perfectly naturally and opened up his shoulder to make it easier for Kazusa's head to rest on. Okay, so we got 2 more hours to wait. We're lucky that we even managed to grab a flight for today. Oh yeah, I'm very lucky today. Look, I apologize for being late, but cut out with the sarcasm. Intolerant as ever. Baka Haruki. Without any sarcasm whatsoever, Kazusa genuinely reflected upon the day's good fortune, waiting for 2 idle hours with thoughts of Haruki, waiting for 2 idle hours with Haruki. There was no greater happiness in this world than this. Yeah, they're still like this after like 2 years at least. Jesus, it still feels like it's like they are a couple for like a month. By the way, Haruki, let me tell you a secret. Tonight is Christmas Eve. Yes, I'm aware of that. Yeah, and yet, you've been doing nothing but work since early this morning. Are you really European? You are European, and yet you don't work on any days other than Christmas either. Wow. It's Christmas Eve, and yet we are spending it on the airplane. At this rate, the moment we cross the international date line, Christmas will be already over. You should be happy though. I may not be much of the substitution, but at least the in-flight meals will be Christmas themed. Hey, will you try make chicken for your cake? What? What the 2 of them exchanged, both from outsiders' viewpoints and from their own, when they thought back over it irrationally, were nothing but pointless, wholly insubstantial conversations. Why don't we go ahead and eat something now? before the in-flight meal. Yeah, I'm not really hungry. I'm starving. I haven't eaten anything since this morning. Yeah, like Kazusa's feeding on Haruki's presence. You should have had breakfast at least. I've had it different when I've heard it's different when you're working with your brain. So, is it just me or nah? Okay, it's fine. Never thought I'd hear that from the person who had never noticed once made breakfast in the past few years. Who never once made the breakfast, yeah. It was just staying faithful. I was just staying faithful to the instructions I received from certain someone a few years ago who told me don't make breakfast anymore. Yeah. Just keep doing that. Keep that. Yeah. We still need house, you know, like to live in. Yeah, I don't want it to burn. You don't think you could re-examine that a bit? Cooking is simple, but my fingers are crucial tools for my work, so I don't use them on anything wasteful. Sure, cooking is simple. Yeah, last time you tried, we know how it finished. Oh, I guess I don't really have anything to say to that. I use my fingers for only two things: playing the piano and digging my nails into your back. Ooh. Are you aware of how bad that's been hurting? Remember how much Koharu been digging her nails into Haruki as well? Anyway, his expression was lax, absent-minded, devoid of tension or any shred of seriousness. Well, if you're that hungry, why don't you have one of my chocolate bars? Of course. She like her whole package, I don't know, the travel bag is just full of chocolate bars. That'd be amazing. I'm seriously about to pass out. Wait, you really gonna eat it? Nah, selfish jerk. Now, wait just a minute. Do you even remember what we're literally just talking about? Look, I've got only one left. Sure. I think like you have more stashed away. You just bullshitting us here. And you don't have the sort of admirable attitude that would allow you to split it in half and share it together. Hey Haruki, use your imagination. Have you ever actively pictured yourself finishing off the last serving of the side dish or a candy that you really like in its entirety? No, that's not something I do. How would you feel then if someone suddenly said to you, make do with half? If the other person were really in need, I would give it to them without thinking twice. No way. That's my last one, so why should I only be able to eat half of it? I refuse to accept such unreasonable reward. Why you suggest eating chocolate then? God damn it. What's unreasonable here is your series of assertions. I don't care what you say. I'm not giving you this. If you have any complaints, you can go buy something from the at the kiosk. Then, if you don't giving like chocolate to Haruki, then why you ask him to eat this chocolate before? God damn it! Fine, I'm going to shopping for a bit. Oh, while you're at it, give me 5 more of those chocolate bars. You are so... Yes, there was no tension in his expression, no seriousness. It told even more eloquence than words of how two of them had lived in this country full of contentment, repeated unchanging days, all the tedious hustle and the bustle. Hey, Kazusa. Huh? And so the two of them continued sitting next to another in the airport lobby, killing some time by stuffing their cheeks with hamburgers. Hamburgers back! Hamburgers are back! Holy Jesus, finally. Once again. This time we have actually them mentioned. They literally mentioned this. in the text. They're finally back. Chatting back and forth, and watching the planes takes off one by one. And at last, the time came for the airport announcement to call the name of their own flight. Okay, where are they going? Are they going back to Japan, actually? Probably. So this is after they got the video from Setsuna. We just don't know how much time left, like, passed after. Actually, if White Album 2 Kazusa ending was 2 years after they... Yeah, I think it was 2-year time skip during the end of the White Album 2 ending, right? On Kazusa True Road. So this is basically also 2 years after. It's just some time after they got the message from Setsuna. I think. Maybe. Are you nervous? Of course not. Rocky murmured a slightly tone, different from how he had been speaking up this point. But Kazusa remained the same, lightly fending off the question with an attitude that lacked any fragment of seriousness. This trip isn't for a concert or an interview, it's completely open, so you can make the most of doing whatever you want. I guess you're right. So, that means you're nervous, Haruki? I don't know. In spite of Kazusa's usual attitude, Haruki didn't relax his own change in mood. This trait, not reading along, and with one another state of mind, was a point that really had not changed for either of them since back then. I thought we had... I never thought we would go back there again. So to be honest, I really don't know how I'm going to feel when I'm facing it. Yep, they're going back to Japan. So... If this is... Yeah, this is probably after they got the message from Setsuna, so... I still don't know how many years, or months, or days after the message. But they... may go and talk to Setsuna? Who knows? But they definitely going to visit Kazusa's mother, I think. Yoko. They're going to visit Yoko, I think. Like, most likely. And probably Setsuna. I think they're going to visit Setsuna. They're going to try and face it. Face her, basically. Face the past. And accept it. Just like Setsuna did. She used the past as the strength to move forward. She had a guitar from Haruki and stuff. Yeah. So they will probably try to face Setsuna as well, facing their past. Yes, nothing had changed. Since several years ago, when they ceased reading the air, ceased their accord with society, and chose a sweet hell for themselves. Several years ago. So it's more than 2 years, okay. Threw away those they loved, threw away those who had loved them, threw away the country they were born. Since several years ago, when they wished to live simply according to their own desires. Okay? How are you supposed to feel when you're facing it? That's obvious. What am I supposed to do then? Do you swear to love Kazusa Toma now and forever? Oh, are they going to get married in Japan? So they're not married yet. Wait, they're going to marry? They're going to go back to Japan for the marriage? Holy Jesus! That's big. That's actually big. Wow, what a decision from their side. Even though they like they said, they never thought they would come back and stuff, right? Huh? Feel worried, Steve, trying not to laugh while you answer some American priest who can hardly speak a word in Japanese. That's what. Why is there some American priest who can hardly speak Japanese? Or is it like what already happened? Because they said like they're going like they can do whatever they want. So it kind of feels like they're going for vacation. I'm a little bit confused. I think they may go to get a marriage, but maybe not. Maybe they're already married. Because they said that Haruki have Thomas' name, surname, right? A little confused on this one. You can tell me in the comments what this is. Okay, anyway. Because first it felt like they're going to get married in Japan, but then it kind of feels like it already happened. And it was just funny. So they make joke out of this. Huh. They destroyed their surroundings. There's so many people in sorrow, even hurt themselves terribly. And at last, they had acquired this tiny daily life for themselves. This truly inconsequential everyday life. The scraps that remained after they traded their whole world away. You're laughing now. I'm seriously concerned about what's going to happen in the actual moment. So it didn't happen. So yeah. Okay. Since Yoko is hospitalized and they probably want her to attend, they go and get married in Japan. And there's high possibility that actually Cessna going to be there as well. Oof. But yeah. Should be fine. No, but are we seriously doing that? Mom at least said that she got the chapel pinned down at last. Okay, at least. And this ward seriously doing that. So you don't think like you were? Like, what? What do you mean? So it was not planned? Mom got chapel pins, yeah. So it seems like, yeah, they're going to the chapel and stuff. But they're like, are we seriously doing that? It's like, I'm confused about the sign. And in this word that they had thrown away, what it gave them once again in their inconsequential routine was a routine of even further calming quiet. They heard that word, and yet the word revived on its own, and they were saved by it. Received a favor that they could never fully pay back. Gave up on returning it, since they knew there was nothing they could do. I'm doomed. I'm definitely gonna laugh. I'll be full on cracking. If you really do laugh, I'm kicking you right up in the air. Come on, Carlos, you can't be serious. What is the problem? Was there a problem? You were the one groaning about. We've already entered our family register. So having a ceremony at this point would be just a hassle. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, that's why. I see. So it's just like formality, basically. But mom, but this is what mom wants. Huh? Are you telling me you would disdain this one tiny modest wish from our mother? Are you truly such a heartless man? Ah. What are these reactions? What are you trying to imply? Nothing. It's just, no seems to be opposed to the idea at all. What? Are you opposed to holding a ceremony with me? I'm a man. I have the right to answer pointless questions like that with, how am I supposed to know? Oh, I see. Boys are especially infuriating sorts of beasts, huh? And why are you being so open today? You do realize we are not in bed right now? Haruki, you've really been a lot more blunt lately, I've noticed. Well, that's because I have to spend my life with someone who is so nonchalant and unreserved. Oh. for Haruki Kitahara and Kazusa. So, okay, so they both have Kitahara. So why they said... Okay, I'm confused. What the fuck? They said... Kazusa... Haruki Kitahara. Kazusa's manager and promoter whose surname was the same as... Oh, I just assumed. They just said that their surname is the same. It could be Kitahara. God damn it. My bad. My bad. I was thinking about White Album ending on like Kazusa Road, where they said that the Toma name is more powerful and stuff, and they won't change the surname because of that. So I assumed like if they get married, then Kazusa, then Haruki going to be Toma. I guess I was wrong. Maybe, yeah, like for first years, maybe they were like that. When like she was maybe more active on piano and the relationship was not that much in the open yet. But when like press got to know of it and stuff, then at some point she changed the name, and that would just naturally like spread basically in the newspapers and stuff that hey, Kazusa is no longer Toma, it's Kitahara now. Yeah, okay. Okay. For Haruki Kitahara and Kazusa Kitahara, airport held a great many memories. Breakdowns, declarations of feelings, separations, returns home, and new journeys. Casting aside, spilling, overflowing, reawakening. Countless pains slept in Narita, that airport in Japan. And today, for the first time in years, the two of them were going toward that place. Toward Narita airport. They would set foot upon Japanese soil once more. They would return to that strong, gentle, and just slightly meddlesome world. To swear before everyone that the two of them would be a pair forever. They would swear anywhere, at any time, however many times it took. Well, it looks like the gate has opened, so let's get going. I wonder if Mom's doing alright. For now, she's out of the hospital and living at home, she said. I see. I wonder if she will finally come to visit us here next time then. So she didn't visit them, actually, at the end of the Kazusa ending. I see. She herself said, I don't want to leave Japan. Oh, so I thought she wanted to visit them ultimately. Huh. Was I mistaken? So I read something... So I assumed something based on context only. I didn't understand it properly, I guess. Something that Toma said. Yoko. Actually, we can call her Toma too, because now it's not confusing anymore, because Kazusa's Kitahara. Let's go. It's better to be with family, right? That seems obvious. I never imagined I would hear those words of you, out of you. Winter was no longer White Album season. The snow was neither crystallized tears nor drops of sorrow. Yeah, there was too many of these. Let's go, Haruki. To Japan. Yes, to our homeland. Let's go back. With no thought for their age, no sign of just going through the motions, their arms tightly entwined, the two of them, pressing their bodies against one another, began walking towards the boarding gate. Okay, so this is the part where they're trying... So they're already married. They're trying to face the past as well, in a sense, because it's the first time in several years they're going back to Japan, and they are aware that there's going to be like Yoko, like they said, but there is going to be Setsuna in Japan. Setsuna may hear about this as well. Probably Setsuna even know they're married. because you know, television, radio, everyone will be talking about this. So who knows? Maybe they're going to meet with Setsuna. But yeah, that's it for this short digital novel. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what do you think. What do you think about this after story, about 20 years after Kazusa's ending, I guess. And yeah, I will see you in the next episode of White Album, I guess, because we are going to do the extra stories from the game. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. So click that like button if you liked the episode, subscribe for more, check my Discord, and become a member if you'd like to support me and see episodes earlier. Thank you once again, and from Pocket Watch, it's going out.